Hello, friends, and welcome back to the College Cephalopod Association Grand Finals of Division Number 1. I am Popgun, joined by the Falco, and we're going to be cruising on into Purdue, taking on... I completely forgot who they're playing against. The Night Sharks of Central Florida. There it is up on stream. There we go. You can tell I took good advantage of the break.
Hey, we both got water. We both got water. Refreshed ourselves, but this is going to be a really important game too. So just talking about some of these players, some of these teams. Boilermaker Special from Purdue. They've only dropped one game this season to a DC, and they defeated UCSD in the playoffs 5-2. So perfect regular season. Hard to counter that, but guess what? Night Sharks countered that and then some. 20-0 in the regular season. So coming in here as, I'll say, the number 1 seed of this tournament. But again, you win all of your games or lose one to a DC, you're going to be set up pretty well. Man, that is really impressive. Just kind of reading that stat, 20-0.
Yeah, Night Sharks are an alpha bracket capable team. I've known they made alpha and low ink recently. They're a strong team with a bright future ahead of them, not just in the college scene, but the actual not the actual like other non-college capped tournaments as well. The Night Sharks have a bright future ahead of them. You think of some of the more famous college teams in the past, UCSD obviously being one of them. ITAP being one of them. Night Sharks are on the path to being one of those kind of caliber of teams. Unfortunately, though, yes, they are totally undefeated. They've never dropped a single game, regular season or postseason. However, they have never seen a player of the caliber of Barry on the side of Purdue. That is the Seafoam Barry who was playing in the Splatoon Nintendo tournament earlier today. Possibly the best player they've ever seen in a tournament, and that is yeah, that might be the difference here, and I'll be very surprised if Night Sharks still go 5-0 in this one, because that is a different animal on the opposite side than what they've seen all season.
Yeah, we talk about how impressive it is for some of these college teams to even make any bracket in low ink, just because there's so many restrictions at that point when you're on a team. But we've seen it in ITAP. ITAP being a former Div 4 team who did really well, was low ink banned, and like you said, Night Sharks now kind of on that same path. Another thing that's interesting is Night Sharks, they've won 70% of their games in a KO fashion. 70% of the games have been a KO. And so, are they trying to speed run Splatoon 3? I don't know. But like you said, you come up with a challenging player like Barry who's gonna challenge them too. Man, so many things are gonna be thrown at them.
It's now, as I'm looking at this Night Shark roster, I'm assuming they got some players who might not play in low ink. Is that Toast? I wonder what kind of Toast that player is, because there is a Toast that is a high this slash top level player in their own right, and I don't know if that's the same Toast that's on this Central Florida team or it's just a common name. Well, again, we'll find out when they see him play. Not to be confused with Toasty of Rolling Squids, as long with Hume. So there's a lot of competitive players. Also, sub power up former ITAP player Nastrom as well. Making up that. So the Purdue is just loaded with competitive players from top to bottom that play on their own teams outside of just this one. Whereas the Night Sharks themselves are an actual team. But I'll be keeping a personal eye on that Toast player just to see if they are the one I'm thinking they are.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about quite a few of these players. So trying to see, looking at our stats of the players who are in the lobby. So Astrum is number 5 in the league wide with KAs normalized. So that's basically averaging out for the whole 5 minutes. Number 3 in kills. Toasty is number 5 in paint and specials. And Yum is number 3 in least deaths. Barry is number 1 in least deaths when normalized. So
yeah, it's hard to kill an anchor player when they're that kind of caliber there. Toast coming out with the splash as long as the zip counter. E-leader on the side of the Night Sharks. as well. But yeah, it's just going to come down to, can they find a way to break through that offense and take care of the Seafoam player that's just going to be dominating from the rafters, we assume at least.
You know, looking at this comp, I look at Night Sharks and I think, you know, that's not a lot of paint. But then I remember that doesn't matter when you get the picks. uh, when you win the 1v1s, get the picks too. But they are able to make some work while Boilermaker Special's trying to push forward, as this tower is going to be stalemated too. I am interested to see what Barry can do. I feel like when you get a charger in a good position on this map, it's hard to take them out too. But speaking of which, Night Shark's able to take the tower pretty quickly.
You know, you win those fights when you're when you're standing right next to them and they don't have a charge ready to go, and you got a giant machete sword that you can sling right in front of their face. But yeah, so far things been kind of stalled out from both sides as Night Sharks got their anchor player kind of set up right now, and they got everybody from Purdue pushed back. And you talked about, yeah, it don't really need the better painting comp if you can kill your opponent. Regardless of what the comp is, 4 weapons paint better than 3. So as long as you're getting the splats, you're going to be just fine. The Night Shark's getting a ton of splats right now, eating up these Boilermaker players as they approach the second checkpoint.
Yeah, Toasty is now doing a good job trying to flank. Unfortunately, they are going to be caught by the point sensor from the Wave Breaker, so that could have been an opportunity for them to push forward. But again, Night Shark's getting all the way to 50, so a pretty good opening push. And now we do see a 1v1 with the Dooley Squatchers versus Toast. Toast running the Splash-O-Matic too. So this is going to be attempt number 2 for Night Sharks as they try and push up. Toast now trying to push forward to painting and paving the way for the tower. The tower is now going to be approaching that second checkpoint, and they might be in a position to get past it this time.
Yeah, they got the crab on the tower combined with the Wave Breaker, but nobody from Purdue is within a country mile of this one. So it looks like they're going to be a great position to kind of set up shop and clear out this third checkpoint as well. Toast does get taken care of, and the Blaster's going to be away from the tower, and I don't really know. Oh, we're going to be going around back door trying to take care of Barry, not able to get the splat and should die as soon as they land. But still, that second checkpoint falls. Half of the game already gone. The Night Sharks looking pretty comfortable with the lead they got right now. 0 offense on the board from Purdue, but they're now got a lot of paint to work with on the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't even realize how quickly the first checkpoint is. All 96 is not very far, so they're able to quickly get past that with the help of the bubble. Barry is now on the tower. They are protected, and more paint now for the Boilermaker Special team. They are able to get a few picks. 2 players now going to be down on Night Sharks. It could be a good counter, but again, you have to get all the way to 20. You have to counter the Charger from Night Sharks. You have to counter the Splash-O-Matic too. Now going to be going down to Toasty here as we see a Wave Breaker on the tower, the bubble also on the tower. So could this be an opportunity for Boilermaker to push forward?
Nice plays here by Toasty before they get taken care of, but still they find a way to clear those checkpoints and get a lot of splats on top of it. So yeah, a minute 30 left to go right now. You don't need to get lead if you're Purdue. Instead, you just got to set up shop. You got all this map to work with. You probably got some beacons in some cheeky spots, which we know Astrum is famous for doing. It has been known to place beacons underneath the tower's path, jumping onto the tower that way. So they got a couple of plays that they can work with right now as Astrum's trying to push up around this right side and clear the path to where the tower is going to be. But a minute left to go. There's not, you know, it comes down to, again, how is Night Sharks going to play this one? Are they going to be a little bit more passive, just try to play it out the clock? Are they going to be more aggressive? And right now, it looks like they're just trying to set up shop and absorb the blows that Purdue is throwing at them, and they're doing a great job of that.
Yeah, you get 3 players down with 40 seconds left. You know that's the time that Boilermaker has to regroup, and an opportunity for Night Sharks to just push up and paint mid. But look at this now, too. Boilermaker's getting 3 players down on Night Sharks, so this will be their opportunity, but they're going to have to try and run away from the Stamper, who's using the Zipcaster. Zipcaster is going to go down, but with all these bombs thrown at the tower, Night Sharks looking better, and the Blaster too able to get able to apply some pressure, but now going to be going down to Barry on Boilermaker Special. So it's going to be hard for Boilermaker Special to do it. They have to win the 1v1s to try and push forward, and now is going to be their final opportunity.
Yeah, and they got to get in front of the tower instead of behind it right there. Toast is going in, and now they're able to get all the splats that they need. It's just the blaster left alive, and Yum able to shut down that blaster. They just got to get a smidgen past that second or that final checkpoint, and just a few more points remaining. Here comes the blaster onto the tower, feeding into an ink strike, and there is the lead. The Night Sharks take their first L in 2 months, and it comes overtime.
Oh my gosh, the perfect season is over with game 1 of Grands. That has got to be making Boilermaker Special feel good. I mean, Boilermaker Special, they also have had a fantastic win streak, only 1 loss to a DC, but that is such a hard push to make if you're Boilermaker Special to come back. Overtime started when the tower was basically at mid. So from that whole time, Night Sharks knew they had an opportunity. They're like, okay, we don't have to splat them right away. We can take some time to get this pick. We can take some time. We don't need to rush into the tower. But when you go down 1 by 1 and specials start coming out for Boilermaker Special, it's real hard to try and counter that push.
You know, getting that loss is good for the Night Sharks. You got it out of the way. When I watch some professional sports, especially the NFL, when there's a team that gets like 12 or 13 wins and 13-0 to start the season, and they talk to them, they're always talking. They won't admit it, but they do after they lose. They talk about how there's so much pressure on them to keep winning. They want to go undefeated, and that pressure eats away at them. So the fact that the Night Sharks got that L and they can say, okay, we got that monkey off our back. We're not going to have a perfect season. Who cares? We can still win the entire division. That's the point of this anyways. So getting that out of the way can establish themselves and get them set up and say, okay, we're going to be challenged this set. We can't just get comfortable just because we have a huge lead. We got to close these things out. I'd much rather take that first L in game 1 than somewhere down the line.
Oh yeah, and because if you're taking it down the line, you might be second guessing yourself too, even if you are up a game or 2 ahead. But yeah, and especially in a best of 9 scenario, Night Sharks know they have 8 more games they could potentially play to get those 5 wins. And on average, they've definitely achieved that by never dropping. But you're right, you get the monkey off your back, you kind of get yourself reset. It's like splashing cold water in your face. Like, all right, let's get back into it. And let's win the second game.
Look how much intensify action is on that blaster. There are going to be a bunch of backflips coming out of that thing here in game 2 at Rainmaker. Astrom's Dapples is the fastest weapon at popping the Rainmaker in the game, highest damage per second. And that doesn't work out in their favor right there. Night Sharks able to get the splats, able to get the blast on the Rainmaker as well. So they got some opportunity, but they're not opting to grab the Rainmaker just yet. Too many players left alive for Purdue. So things just kind of stalled out right now, even though Night Sharks do establish control of mid.
Yeah, and let's talk about the weapon changes too. We do see the hero shot on the side of Night Sharks. We do, like you mentioned, the Dapples on the side of Boilermaker Special. Look at this, quickly approaching to that first checkpoint. Not going to get there for Night Sharks, and it's just going to be one player who's alive. Toast is now going to be scrambling to run away with 2 of their players chasing them. Unfortunately, they're not able to get it. So that was one of those I just gotta go for it moments. I want to try and get that dunk. If I don't, that's okay. And now the Rainmaker is going to reset, and we do see mid is controlled slightly by Boilermaker. Tacticooler now out in full force. So like you said, look at that pop speed from the Dapples on Boilermaker, pushing up on this right stack, trying to take them down. But no, they're actually going to be splatted by the I guess the Charger or the Trizuka. I don't really know. But either way, it's good that Night Sharks, they were able to not let Boilermaker Special push forward as much, and they're able to keep this lead.
Yeah, and so far things are looking pretty decent for Night Sharks. Yeah, they don't clear the way to that final checkpoint, but so be it. They did have map control, at least they did, and now that is a wipeout. Surely that is going to be the lead and the checkpoint falling into the favor of Purdue, as they got their first lead in regulation, Falco. So now things looking pretty good for the Boilermakers. It just comes down to, can Night Sharks shut down this defense? If you can keep them from grabbing that Rainmaker and going forward, which they cannot, and they're getting a whole, just going right into the face of that E-leader, not able to land tap shots, and with just 8 remaining, this goes from a manageable situation to very dire with, oh, it is still not over. It's still not over. How did they roll through all of that? 2-0, Boilermakers on top very quickly.
You know, I was going to say, if you're going to 1v1 one weapon that closely, it better be the E-leader, because you know they have to rely on tap shots, maybe getting like 3 or 4 tap shots to get the splat. But like you said, the maneuvering without having the ink, you're relying on what's already there, just like going full force, going around the corner too. And man, those Night Sharks, they just weren't at the podium, just a charger. And it is a crazy ending. Like, that was such a position for the Rainmaker to reset, or for Boilermaker to like make small pushes one by one. But it was just 2 fantastic pushes. I believe one of them was from Toasty. I don't know who the other one was from. But I mean, at that moment, what else are you going to do if you're Boilermaker Special? Like, that's what you need to do. It can be considered feeding, I guess, but like, hey, if you feed to win, then by all means do it.
You know, my philosophy is when you get to that checkpoint, if you can just grab it and go forward again, you're in a great position to win. Just because now the other team knows, okay, we can't just get to the checkpoint. We have to get to the checkpoint, pop it, and push it forward. Because we don't know when we're going to get back to that checkpoint again. But, you know, if you can find a way to get to the checkpoint and then get to the final one all in one push, that's a pretty good situation as well. So it works out to your advantage to just kind of feed in, grab the Rainmaker, nudge it forward, even if you get a little bit. But then you get those right kind of windows where you're matched up against a weapon that has to tap shot you to death, and all of a sudden you just KO the whole thing. So just a good situation all around for Purdue. Heading over to Clam Blitz at Scorched Gorge. Might be a good this might be a good map for the Night Sharks to bounce back into this one. I don't know if Barry's still going to use Charger here. You don't see a lot of Charger players feel comfortable with it here, especially with Clam Blitz. And Blaster works out really well on this map as well. But when you're at that caliber that Barry's at, you might as well just roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah, they're going to be sticking with it, and we will be seeing a custom junior as well, and a double splash on the side of Night Sharks. So a lot of paint coming their way. Their only anchor being the Explosher, going to have to try and counter that E-leader. That has to be the weapon that takes him down.
Yeah, and a lot of paint they can work with too. Triple Ninja Squid on the side of the Night Sharks. More of the Ninja Sharks is what they're coming out with there. So they're just trying to put a lot of paint down for their players to hide. But look who's being aggressive right here and putting a beacon on the enemy side of the map. It's Astrum, and ultimately it gets shut down, but they didn't take care of the beacon on the backside. There's going to be a Dapple player jumping right in and taking the fight to you if you don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be real hard too, but like you just see these skirmishes that are going on in mid. There's really no control of who has what. I mean, both teams pretty much have the same number of clams right now. Boilermaker Special in the slight man advantage, trying to stay alive and potentially push forward. But yeah, now we do see the Expo trying to challenge that E-leader, as they're going to be like the only weapon, unless it's going to be flank. But no, they're actually going to be taken down by Barry. We mentioned how good that they are with the Charger, and now somebody's going to be coming up, and it's going to be Toast taking down Barry. But look at all this paint from Boilermaker Special at mid. But 3 players down, it's going to be changing very quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be purple right now, and this is a great situation for Night Sharks. Just need to build up a little bit more clams before they go in, and by that time, Boilermaker Special is going to be back online and ready to go. So we do see this crab getting traded with Astrum up top on the right side there. As that was the critical. Taking care of that trade works out into Purdue's favor, just because that shuts down any kind of flank, any kind of pincer maneuver. Now everybody that's still alive is forced to come around this awkward elbow area on the right side, and there's just nothing giving right now.
Yeah, but look at this. Night Sharks trying to make that push. They are able to score, get 2 power clams in. So now you're kind of in that panic mode if you are Boilermaker Special. You do have the player advantage right now, but you got to watch out for Hakon and Billy, who could potentially have something up their sleeve to try and throw some more clams in. But the basket's now going to close. Getting to 54, you know, it took a while for Night Sharks to get the basket open, get the momentum going. But if they can just keep this up, play the neutral game now, they're going to be sitting pretty good. And they do even have more clams, too.
That is Billy, isn't it? I was wondering
It
what
took me
that
a minute.
was.
Honestly, it took me, yeah.
I didn't realize it just mirrored their name, but so be it. Good old Billy and Hume here gets taken care of by Billy. About that, how about that? Speaking of the devil, able to get a trade on Toasty as well. The rolling squid sweep, as they say in this matchup here. But yeah, so far, Night Shark's still in a great situation. 2 minutes left to go. They got some specials built up. And really, it's just this Explosh providing the opportunities for everybody else to kind of get something going here. And a lot of things they can use to kind of be aggressive against that E-Layer. Look at Hakon trying to get the splat on Barry. Isn't able to do it just yet, but constantly keeping that E-Leader running. That means they can't get a charge built up. They can't find ways to get splats until your Dapple player just kind of comes in and slides on top of them like a baseball player. What was that?
Yeah. whatever you need to do to get the kill. But hey,
It's
talk
a
about
slide
how...
tackle from the World Cup.
Right. Boilermaker Special now has, they do have a power claim trying to apply some pressure. Have a lot of paint, too, at their disposal, tossing these power claims to keep them alive, using the bubble as well to protect themselves. Toasty, he's doing a great job maneuvering around this basket as they control mid, but you're in the position where, okay, we have mid, we need to push forward, we need to get the score in, but you're facing a team like Night Sharks. You have the Explo, you have the Junior who could just run around and paint anywhere. You have the double splash who virtually can't miss their shots if they have perfect aim with no RNG. So this is a very good counter by Night Sharks, preventing the pressure from Boilermaker, and might even get a score of their own.
Oh, until something, I think a bomb exploded off of the crab to kill the person who was about to throw the power clam into the basket. Fair enough, you weren't really going to get anything out of that if you're a Boilermaker Special anyways. You just pop the basket and get nothing. And actually, it's the Night Sharks who popped the basket on the backside. I guess one player was just flanked around behind everything, decided to just shut everything down. So regardless, nothing really there. Things still looking really good for Central Florida. Hume getting taken care of. And but I will say this, a ton of clams are built up. Oh, and just as I say it, two of the people holding all of those clams get eliminated. So now it's just Barry, who I think needs to make a power clam right now, or else this game is going to be over, and ultimately they get splatted. That should do it. And the Night Sharks, just like we saw in the earlier game, Falco, the team that goes up 2-0 can't find a way to get the dub in Game 3.
Yeah, it's good for Night Sharks that they know, okay, we don't have to come out from this starting off 0-3 and pushing our way back forward. Like we said, it's like, okay, 1 loss, we got the monkey off our back. 2 losses, okay, we just have a slightly steeper hill that we need to climb. It's good that they got this win. It's also good for Boilermaker Special, too. Like you said, it's kind of the same story. I'm not even counting their DC loss. Like, we can't count that as a real game that happened for their mentality. So what happened to Night Sharks in Game 1 is happening to Boilermaker Special in Game 3. Or in Game 3, I guess. So, it's good. We've seen how well these two teams contest with each other. I liked what I saw. Honestly, like I wouldn't have changed anything, or we didn't have any. Oh, I don't know if that decision was the best that they could have done from either team. So it just came down to Night Sharks getting that push and just having immaculate defense, not letting Boilermaker score.
Yeah, I liked what the Night Sharks did there from their comp-wise. I liked that they switched up. I liked that they dropped the Charger, brought out the X-Splosh, and provided a rest of a comp that could take advantage of the extra paint that the X-Splosh could put down. And give them a good amount of aggression. But you can tell the strategy is, let's harass the E-leader and work from there. Let's attack from behind, and then we'll deal with the other players. They're clearly trying to identify the main threat on this Boilermaker team. And to their credit, they were doing a great job of that. It's hard to do that. It's hard for an E-leader to get established on a map like Scorched Gorge, on a mode like Clan Blitz anyways. But if you're going to win one, that was going to probably be your best opportunity to do it. So it's nice for them to get that win. And again, you're so used to winning. You take 2 losses, the first 2 losses of the season, right there, back to back, to get the win and to get back into the set is huge for them. We'll see what they do here at game 4. I think this one's going to still go back to being Purdue's favor. But we'll see how momentum works out.
That's right, and we'll see if Night Sharks can tie it up 2-2, or if Boilermaker Special can put themselves in a more comfortable position, getting closer to that Div 1 championship title. So again, looking at the comps, this is, well, we see the brush. I don't think we've seen the brush yet, and we do see the Stamper coming back out from Hakon. Again, Barry's still with the Charger, Toasty still with the Junior, but again, and we do see the double splash come out as well.
Yeah, Astrum was pretty comfortable using the Ink Brush Nouveau in the Splatoon 2 that had the ink mine and the baller. So they're very used to having a brush with a baller in, or a brush with an ink mine. And I guess they can figure out how to use the hammer. And just like any other hammer player, you pop it, you throw it, you get something you can put on Twitter. If not, you can just get another hammer and try again. That time working out into Astrum's favor.
Yeah, Stamp is it's pretty similar to Baller in a way, perhaps. But there's a few small differences, especially now after I think the patch prior. But anyways, Boilermaker Special quickly to get to 61. Now we do see their neutral game, but they are in a position to get some more map control as they have a player advantage. 3v2 Special's now being used, 2v2, but they are able to hold on to the zone. Army is now trying to get some picks on Barry. It's going to be Charger versus Charger in this position. It's always one of my favorite things to watch.
It's kind of poking around at each other until Barry just said, nah, I'm not taking this fight. I'm going to help one of my teammates instead. Zone getting flipped over into the favor of the Night Sharks. Their first attempt at putting some permanent points up onto the board before they get some penalties here. And Ink Tank, Crab Tank being popped in the middle of zone, doing a good job of keeping everybody away on the backside. Is there anyone on the side of the Night Sharks attacking there? No, I think all the attacking was just coming from the own side of the map. Nobody was trying to flank. Nobody was able to land a flank from the side of the Night Sharks. And that's why Boilermaker Special was able to just kind of push up and get back in control of things, because they had complete control of their side of the map as well. Whereas you see Purdue here doing a much better job of attacking the enemy on their own side of the map.
Right, they've got a lot of map control right now, especially with the help of Toasty. Toasty was doing a really good job just staying alive, running around all over the map, and now we see Yume just making sure nobody can get on top of the tent, but it looks like there's going to be a crab. Yume now going to be going under the tent, pushing forward, pushing over to the crab, or that's Astrum, who's going to be pushing over towards the crab, and now Boilermaker doing everything they can to keep this zone capped. You don't want to get penalty points in this position. It's not the end of the world if it happens, but you're just so close to a KO. We're going to see a Zipcaster try and come in, but it's not going to be enough. Boilermaker Special, they're going to be going up 3-1 in this final set.
Yeah, again, I just felt like that was a map that was designed for them to win. They're able to control the flanks a little bit better. Look at both flanks right now as you see players doing these little victory poses here. On the complete side of the left of the right flank, totally yellow. Night Sharks just weren't able to establish control in either one of those lanes, and that was the difference right there. Just too many highways for the Boilermakers to fly up and down and attack the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, hey, you called it at the beginning of Boilermaker just kind of being set up to get that win, and it just goes to show how important it is to get that lockout phase 2 in splat zones. And it's hard on a stage like Hagglefish with the tent. You get an E-leader there, you get a crab there, they're going to be really comfortable, but Boilermaker Special just seemed to be one step ahead of the Night Sharks pretty much throughout that whole game.
Now we're going to be moving on to Game 5. Tower control at Sturgeon Shipyard. You can't go down 4-1 and expect to win this tournament. But there's a lot of wins that you got to take out of the Boilermaker sales. And again, think about where the set would be if they just hold on and win that Game 1. Which there were so many opportunities where it looks like they were going to do that. It wouldn't be that the score would be 2-2 right now. It could be completely different. It could be like 4-0 for all we know. Taking that first loss might have taken a mental toll on the Night Sharks. If they kept the win streak going, they might have been able to find ways to win that game 2 or that game 3. You can never really tell, but those one little moments can change and alter the course of an entire set. And it's tower control that's showing up yet again here. So if Night Sharks can win this one, mentally winning again on tower control would pay huge dividends for them going forward. But I mean, at this point, you have to win regardless. If you go down 1-4, it's virtually over at that point.
Yeah, you have no wiggle room when you're down by that far. And we've seen Night Sharks do it. We've seen them be competitive in tower control and able to apply the pressure. Of course, Boilermaker Special trying to hope that they can put Night Sharks in that comfortable position. So we are no longer going to see the double splash come out from Night Sharks. We're going to see the sloshing machine and the blaster. Army sticking with the Charger, Barry sticking with the Charger, and it looks like no changes other than Astrum going with the Dapples on Boilermaker Special.
Yeah, Astrum exploding immediately before I can say anything about them. And now the Blaster's going to be pushing up top here, taking care of Barry, and Astrum's going to probably eat it again there, falling into the enemy bubbler. So who is this, Billy? Our old pal Billy up top here making a hero play and busting the doors wide open for the Night Sharks.
Yeah, that really allowed the Night Sharks to get past these checkpoints, allowed the Charger to do some fantastic work, and also the machine, the splash to push up. And look at this map control by Night Sharks as Boilermaker Special trying to push through, but no, that second checkpoint is going to be broken rather quickly. 2 players alive now. Hakon and Billy trying to get by the tower, trying to stay alive. Billy wisely stepping off, using the bubble, splatting the Boilermaker Special players who were trying to hop on the tower, and that helped them get to 6. So early pressure from the Night Sharks. That's going to set them up pretty well in this game.
Oh, if I'm Night Sharks, I want to end that one right there. Because now it's just going to creep back into their mind like, oh, we had this huge lead last time too, and we let it slip away. As soon as a decent push gets going from Boilermakers, that's going to start creeping into their minds. You really want to put a team away when you got them right where you want them. But still, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go right here. And Billy's just been a problem all game long so far. A very nice splat from Barry. Very nice splat from Barry. To shut down what could have been another opportunity for Billy to continue their annoyance here. But Purdue can't really get control of mid is the problem right now.
Yeah, it's got to be really hard, especially when you had that push from Night Sharks. And now you have Night Sharks players who aren't really extending further. They're going to be kind of around mid, just controlling the pace of this tower. And, you don't have an opportunity for them to push up, overextend. But Boilermaker's now going to be on the tower, so it's actually going to be working out in their favor at this moment with the Wavebreaker and the Tactical are now being used. They are going to be getting to their first checkpoint. One of their players is going to be hopping off, and it looks like they're going to be the only player who's alive. So unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for them to get past this first checkpoint, but they at least set the momentum of, okay, we're not going to get knocked out without getting on the tower. We can at least get this push going, and they need to keep up this pressure. But with just Toasty alive, that's going to be hard for now.
I would have liked to see Yoon be a little bit more aggressive with that Soda, though. They had Soda in them. Why not try to take that fight along the side of the tower and see if you could keep that push going a little bit further there? I'm not convinced that was the time to just abandon that push right there. But still, it's another good situation right here. Look how yellow the map is. Purdue's going to get another opportunity to clear this first checkpoint, and in 2 minutes left to go, there's plenty of time left on this clock to make something happen.
Yeah, look at this. Astrum trying to get the flank, able to get it, but it's going to go down as well. Looked like a slight delayed shot, and that's going to be a wipeout too, so really unfortunate for Boilermaker Special. I was going to say, if Astrum gets that pick and stays alive, you're able to get around and take out take out the Charger. You're going to take out Barry. You're going to be set up very well.
Yeah. Well, because if you don't, that is what you're going to see right there. Yeah. Just players making fadeaway Kobe shots from the top of the area where there's no way that you can get to them as well. That's what makes E-Leader so frustrating, especially on these newer Splatoon 3 maps. There's just so many spots where E-Leader can just set up shop and just start dominating. But right now, it is the first checkpoint that is in danger of falling as Yume's in a very dangerous spot that you don't want to see the enemy Slosher being in for exactly that reason. Can just rain down hell on top of you, and it's hard to get back up to where they are. And now the Purdue's at the second checkpoint, and this is where it starts to beat into your mind like, oh no, it's starting to slip away yet again, and that second checkpoint falls as well. Barry's got a bubbler to work with, and 2 more players going down from the side of the Night Shark. Toast runs in. There is the lead, and there is the game. Lightning strikes twice as Boilermaker goes up 4-1.
Popgun, you called it right after the Night Sharks push. They needed to just get the win because it could potentially bite them towards the end of this match, and that's exactly what happened. Boilermaker Special, they knew they had to just like apply the pressure, make one push. They were able to make Night Sharks scramble, make them just not be aware of what could possibly happen from this Boilermaker Special team. And like you said, you go down 1-4. Oh, that's going to be such an uphill climb. Gotta win these next 4 in a row.
Yeah, when you have the opponent down like that, you gotta put them away. And if they had won that one in the fashion that they did, winning in the first minute, that would have been such a high five moment in VC. Yeah, we beat the snot out of those guys right there. That's the momentum you need to revitalize yourself to keep going, but they didn't put them away. They left the window open, and Purdue came and shut it very hard in the final minute right there, going up 4-1. Now, it's not doom and gloom just yet, even though it probably is. There's Night Sharks just have to win 4 in a row, but when you have long sets like this to make a comeback, you can play the mental game as well. You just got to win 1 at a time, and the more wins you get, you plant the seed of doubt in your opponent, and then each win you pour water on that seed and it starts to grow, and then your opponent's like, hey, we can just win 1 of the next 4. And they're like, oh, crap, we got to win 1 of the next 2. And these guys are streamrolling right now. If you're the Night Sharks, just win 1 game at a time. You'll be fine. Easier said than done, though. Purdue's been looking pretty good this set.
Yeah, they certainly have. And Night Sharks, they're going to just be needing to focus on Rainmaker Eeltail. We mentioned how tricky it can be to take it up that left side, take it up that slick spot right after the top left checkpoint. So it's a patient game. It's hard to be patient in Rainmaker, but it's something that Night Sharks might have to do in this game.
Potential tournament closing out game right here. Yume coming back out with the slosher really was the key to that push getting started in that last game, just getting that slosher into the right spot and allowing the rest of everybody else, combined with Toasty's bubbler at a key time on the tower as well. We've been talking a lot about Barry, and rightfully so. They are the best player in the lobby, but all of Purdue's been working together to be very effective, as they have been up to this entire point of the game.
That's right, and Night Shark's able to get the first push. Oh, they actually made it pretty far, just running on the ink, I guess. I don't really know what happened with not having much map control there, but not going to quite get to that checkpoint. 2 members of Boilermakers are now going to be going down. Hakon is going to be pushing up and kind of flanking around the side. Can they take down Barry? Yes, they can, but no, we're going to go down to Astrum from the roller. Army able to get the dunk. Okay, so we're setting the tone for Night Sharks. Now, do they want to keep up this pressure, or do they want to pull back? With 2 players, they want to pull back just a little bit, but you don't want to lose what you already achieved. You don't want Boilermaker Special to counter that.
Yeah, and that's why they're exactly backing up right now, because they recognize we need to keep our players alive. We need to save this checkpoint. Instead, Billy tried to do a little bit of a cheeky play there, flanking around from behind, but easily gets picked off by the Rainmaker player. So that's going to take care of the 52 gal, as we see Barry wisely able to pick up on the flank opportunity happening to them. But nowhere for them to go a little bit. But you can see the patience. This is something we didn't see in the last Rainmaker game from the team that was down. We didn't see a lot of patience coming out from the Rainmaker carrier, just trying to force things not there. Barry recognizing, I'm going to wait for something to happen here. But instead, nothing is happening, and now you're just going to get stuck with a Rainmaker and a few players down if they can't find a way to get some splats here in the next... How many seconds is left on that Rainmaker? About 10? They might explode on their own. Yeah, Barry's got no choice but to run.
Yeah, you hold on to it for so long. You just gotta push forward. You gotta make sure you're not near your teammates too, in case it pops and uh, they get splatted too. But yeah, they held on for quite some time. But here's the thing: if Boilermaker can have that same patience that they had with the Rainmaker, they can make that comeback. And we know that they can make it based on their skill alone of what we have seen in the previous games. But now that they are climbing an uphill battle with Night Sharks having that 51 push, it's going to make it a little trickier. Now Hakan is going to be trying to push it on this right side. Actually able to get some good paint, but they're going to be alone now. So I can't imagine they're going to be pushing too much further. They are going to get the wipeout. So Boilermaker, once again, get control of mid here. Find a way that you can quickly get to this podium. That's exactly what Astrom's doing, kind of painting a path, making sure that they can take down players who might be getting close.
Yeah, Boilermakers know they can come back in this one. And the problem is the Night Sharks know they can do that as well. The Night Sharks probably don't feel like they're winning right now. Even though they got a full checkpoint lead, they probably, in their mind, are thinking, we got to get even more because we feel like we're losing this. And a great Shark by Toast, able to take care of Barry on the with the Rainmaker. And now everything else is just falling apart for Purdue right now. So this is a great opportunity to get some points. But look at this hammer. Oh, I was about to say, there's no way. There's no way you're going to pull that one off, and they get punished for it as well. Now, what are they going to do with this Rainmaker? Are they going to try to hold forward against that E-Leader and Slosher on the left? There's no way they can clear it over there. I'm wondering if they can find a way to go on the right. You saw Billy trying to make something happen. Astrom says, hello, this door is closed at this time of night. And now the Rainmaker's forced to just kind of make something happen. They don't get across that bridge. Don't even touch it. But to their credit, Falco, they got more points than what you would get off of the off of the pedestal. And instead, they pick it up and get all the way across of it. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, they got to the 34 after the podium, then getting all the way to 6. So like we said, just past the slick, this is where Boilermakers are now going to have to try and get this in. This is the 2-minute drill, but just with 1 minute remaining, you need to get that map control. Khan is now pointed out, going to be trying to chase down Barry, but the Rainmaker is going to reset. So if you're Boilermakers, you don't want to panic just yet, because you could start this push as soon as overtime starts. And you know you're capable of doing it. You did it during tower control. You can do it. You just don't want to lose these 1v1s and give Night Sharks the map control. And right now, Night Sharks, they are getting the map control. So it's going to be real tricky for Boilermaker Special.
Yeah, and if you're Night Sharks, get some juice in you and take the fight to Purdue right now. Don't try to make a play that could potentially cause you to lose. Look at this, taking it all the way back. I guess there's no Stingray, so I guess this is the optimal play to do. I guess that's just the end of the game. You know, in Splatoon 2, that'd be a risky play to do, but in this game, it's just, oh, right. I guess that just kind of works. So there, nice heads-up play by the Night Sharks. Disregard everything I just said about what their strategy should be for that. But finally, they're able to get a big lead and hold on to it. What is that freezing animation? I don't know if I like that. Doesn't seem like a victory pose at all. Regardless, 2-4, Night Sharks extend the set a little bit more. And hey, we talked about it, one game at a time. That's one game right they got right there. Can they do 3 more?
That is one game. Man, that push that they made to get that Rainmaker very close to the podium. Again, they didn't get the dunk. That is what they needed to get the win. I didn't think that they were going to push it past the slick. I thought once it kind of got past the first podium, it was going to be done. You're going to have Boilermaker Special try and push with 1:30 left. But no, the help of that, it was the ink wall. That's what saved them. The ink wall was thrown. No shots could get past it. They were able to you can only walk across the slick. Like they just walk their way through, getting all the way to 6. So Night Sharks, they like you said, they're keeping their hopes alive, one game at a time, going into now game 7, Claim Blitz Hammerhead. You gotta not let Boilermaker Special control the basket and keep it open for a long period of time. When teams spiral and Claim Blitz, it's because their basket is open for so long. You can get all these great pushes that you want to get, but if you just hear that mute, and now we have the jingle that plays when your basket's open, and it's the worst song in all of Splatoon because it reminds you you're not scoring currently. you gotta shut that down as quickly as possible.
Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, the good news here for the Night Sharks, the other one they have was on Clam Blitz, and it was widely thanks to the use of their X-Splosh over their Charger. We saw X-Splosh used on this map in the last set that we saw. We know they can use X-Splosh here. That might be the difference maker and find a way for Night Sharks to get a third win in this set. And then you're up 3. Well, you're still down 3-4. You got something working with right there. This is starting to look like a winnable path. You just got to start taking it one game at a time. But I could see a path for the Night Sharks to creep back into this one.
And let's see if they can do it as we get into this game 7. We do see the end zap, we see Slosher. Again, none of these weapons are things that we haven't seen. We are going to see the double splash come back out, which is going to be double crab, a very good, crucial choice for this specific map. So we'll see if it's going to work in Night Shark's favor. Again, they need to get this win to keep the hopes alive. Boilermaker Special trying to get this win to seal a deal and win the Div 1 championships. And they have it in them. Like, both of these teams obviously have it in them to win. We have seen it. This is obviously a very close set too. But Clam Blitz, you gotta play the patient game. It doesn't matter who scores first unless you're going to get a heavy score. But we are going to see an early killer whale too, and a lot of pressure from Boilermaker.
Yeah, and if Night Sharks can't start getting some splats right here, this could actually be the game right now, just because there's a lot of clams built up. But however, they're doing a good job of staying alive and forcing all these Boilermaker players back. It's so hard to kind of score here just because there's only one route you can go up that left side. And if you're a good defensive team, you can shut down things pretty easily. But Boilermaker's still knocking on that door. They're getting his picks right now. They're holding on to the clams, but Billy's able to get a nice pick on Toasty, and we'll probably follow that up with a pick on Astrum as well. So Night Sharks holding on here, preventing the floodgates from bursting open, but Purdue's not surrendering any map. That's the problem.
Yeah, they really aren't. Boilermakers, they're going to have to push up. They have the 2 power clams, but you want to avoid the Charger, who is going to be just the crucial backline player. We see Army there just waiting up the slick spot. Really, there's only one way you can take the... well, I guess kind of 2 ways, but one main way you can take the power clam to try and get the score. But now members of Night Sharks are going to be dropping down a little bit. Yoon was trying to push up, applying some pressure, but not able to get that splat. 2 players now down for Boilermaker Special. Barry the Charger is going to be retreating just a little bit, as Night Sharks now trying to push forward some too. But it's like Boilermaker Special, they've had control of mid, then they just lost it, and that's the only thing that really happened during that last minute and a half.
Yeah, and this could be a one-score kind of game right here. It's just one team will pop the basket at some point, and that'll be how the game ends. Just because, again, it's just so hard to break through right now. But we have seen control of mid at least change hands a couple of times. This time it's in the favor of the Night Sharks. But it's just neither team can really take out the other player's anchor. So that means they can just keep poking from a safe distance and shutting down everything. So it's hard to break through right now. And it's just going to have to come down to somebody getting a crab or an ink strike and just using it in the right kind of way to shut everything down. Because look, there's just nowhere for them to go, even though they have control of mid.
Yeah, and it looked like Boilermaker Special, this was their opportunity to do so because 2 players were down on Night Shark. But like you said, if you're not taking down the anchor, you're not going to have an easy time trying to get that push. 2 power claims now ready on the side of Boilermaker Special, and it looks like Billy is trying to push up on this left side, going to have to retreat just a little bit. Boilermaker Special now has control of mid, but not able to really make a lot of things work. But now with some specials and some killer whales, they're going to be pushing up even more. Astrum is now going to be pushing up, and this is going to be the first score of the game, but with 3 players down, just the Slosher who's alive, who forms a power clam. Like you said, it could be a 1-push finish, and this 1 push is only going to give them the single power clam.
I like that whoever had that final power clam instead decided to back off right there, because you didn't want to just rush in. Even if they found a way to get that power clam in, you don't want to get a wipeout and just open up the doors for the mid to be destroyed. And instead, Night Shark's able to get control mid anyways. And you see Billy working up top there, getting a double, possibly a triple. Oh, but a double by Barry. And then a collateral shot that ended everything and keeps the lead in the favor of the Boilermakers. What a shot!
Potential game-saving stop there from Boilermaker Special, only allowing Night Sharks to get their power clam. Of course, that's not going to give them the lead since Boilermaker Special already scored. That could have been so dangerous, but it just goes to show the power, the power of Barry and how well that they are able to stop. And look at this, now they are just taking down these members of Night Sharks one by one. Now the last player alive, who's going to be the Charger, but the Charger is going to get a nice pick too. And there's going to be another score from Boilermaker Special. It's going to make it that much harder. Barry is the only player who's alive right now on the side of Boilermaker Special with the power clam. This basket's going to be open, but this is going to be Night Sharks' final opportunity to get the score and keep the set alive.
This might be all she wrote right here, unless the Night Sharks can find a way to not only take care of this left side and get up in top there, but find a way to take care of the E-leader as well. Toasty gets taken care of, but the junior on the side of the Night Sharks goes down as well. Yum in a great defensive position, and now you see somebody jumping in. Well, oh, pop the basket in time! They get access denied, and the Boilermakers win Div 1.
Oh my gosh, you're thinking if I jumped a split second earlier, we could have kept this game alive. I don't know how much support and backup Night Sharks would have had. I'm actually watching the stream right now because, fun fact, the stream is slightly delayed so I can see the push that just happened. But it just wasn't enough. They had the crab alive. They had the jumping that was happening. I don't think there would have really been any follow-up, but oh my god, that was so close. That Clam Blitz did them dirty. Man.
You know what?
Boilermaker Special winning that set, winning the CCA champions. They won Div 1. They are your Div 1 CCA League champions. Oh my goodness.
And beating a team that has not lost a single game all year long. That was that was the solid roster that they have right here. This Boilermaker Special team. You know what sucks for the Night Sharks, and this is pouring salt into a wound, but you look at the score and it's 5-2, and you think, oh, it wasn't that competitive. But if you're the Night Sharks, you're going to be thinking about that game 1 for a long time. You're going to be thinking about that game 5 for a long time, or the game 4, those 2 tower control ones. And now you're going to be thinking about that Clam Blitz game to close out the entire tournament right now. Is you're like, oh, there were ways that we could have / should have won all 3 of those. And then all of a sudden we're the ones who winning this one. So it's a much closer 5-2 than what the final scoreboard would show. But at the end of the day, just a little too much Boilermaker Special.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about how dominant both of these teams have been at the start of this set. You know, Night Sharks not even dropping a game in the regular season. Boilermaker Special only losing games in the semis that weren't a part of disconnects. Both of these teams definitely got to be proud of themselves. Night Sharks probably didn't play teams that were at the caliber of Boilermaker Special, not at the caliber of their level as well. And just so you guys know, we are playing the rest of the set. This is technically a best of 5, but part of this, part of the fun is we get to play all the matches even after the set is decided. Do we take the commentary as seriously at this moment? Probably not, but it was so good, and both of these teams got to be proud of themselves.
Proud of themselves? Look at this. They're looking for more blood. You see these comps they're coming out with right here? This doesn't look like it's for fun at all. They're out here. One team's playing mad, and the other team's playing to make a statement. What is this?
You know, hey, the change that we do see is Toasty using the C Junior instead of the Vanilla Junior.
Oh,
so there is some change up, but you're right. These teams are actually pretty quick to ready up to, and didn't like you said, didn't change anything. We still have the double splash on the side of Night Sharks, and I don't blame them. Like, they want to get these wins. They're treating this like a play all 9 scrim at this point. You know, like, they know that they can get some of these wins, and this is a perfect opportunity to try and practice. So why not go all out?
And the Night Sharks, second place in Div 1 is still a really good feat for them to have. But they're going to be playing for a Lowink championship at some point down the road, as is the Rolling Squids. The Rolling Squids have been playing a lot better as of late, have been really strong. I believe they did make, they either made Alpha Bracket or came within one game of making Alpha Bracket in a recent low ink, because they've been improving a lot themselves. So there's there's an opportunity to improve for a lot of the players in this lobby. Obviously, Astrom's long been banned from low ink, and I don't even think Barry knows what low ink is. They're so far above that skill level. But there's still some things that both teams or players on both teams have to work towards that's outside of the college stuff.
Yeah, there really is. But like we said, it's hard to find teams that are at this skill in the collegiate scene who all happen to go to the same school, all happen to be able to practice with each other. And like some of these teams, some of these players are probably formed. A lot of these players even met because of the CCA. Maybe they didn't even pick up Splatoon. I'm not talking about like Div 1 or Div 2 teams, perhaps, but a lot of the teams in the lower divisions, like this was their first exposure to Splatoon, and that's something we really love to see too. Of course, with these two teams going at it, these are not those teams. They have been playing, especially members of Boilermaker Special. We have seen a lot of them in the Splatoon scene in recent times. So there's still just an opportunity for a lot of growth and a lot of practice too.
Yeah, and not just these players, but all the 60+ players playing in the CCA. I can tell you, being a part of the Ludi seeding, there are a ton of college representation that's going to be playing in this upcoming Ludi season. A lot of them, the only thing they have on their resume up to this point are results in the CCA. So the CCA has brought in a lot of new players to the competitive scene, and our scene as a whole is just very extremely grassroots. It's I'm not going to be making any statements about anything going on this past week, but basically it's mainly been us, the grassroots community that's been growing these things. So a lot of people don't even know competitive Splatoon is a thing, or that there are tournaments or there are leagues or stuff like that. And a lot of these players from the CCA are finding out about this little corner of our world through the CCA. So there's a lot of credit that goes to the people working behind the scenes to make that happen.
Yeah, and I'm sure towards the end of the broadcast we'll be able to give them all shout outs and talk about the wonderful TOs and everybody who made this possible. But hey, we still have some fun action. They're still going at it, Popgun. It's actually a close game too.
In the middle of this, there's some sort of matches broken out here. Well, but it's still the same kind of result. Boilermaker Special able to just kind of hold on up top here and get the win. I'm assuming they're going to find a way to get the win right here. Zipcaster's kind of blasting back in. I don't think they're going to have enough paint to overcome everything. No. So there you go. I guess 6-2. Are we still keeping count? Is that what's going on here?
From what I've gathered, I don't think they're updating the count after the set has been determined. Just I guess there's no reason to put the score there if it's going to inflate any stats and whatnot.
You think after like a team wins the Super Bowl, they're just like, hey, let's play one more quarter of overtime, just for the heck of it. And all the players from both teams are like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Just brushing off the confetti that's falling all over the place.
Yeah. Or like, or I guess like the World Series too. You win the World Series 3-1. Like, yeah, let's have a bonus game.
Well, let's go back to Houston and play two more just for fun of it. I mean, you got Boilermaker probably high-fiving each other in VC. Like, no, we're winning these last two. Give us the call-outs. Get your actual weapons back on. We're dominating here. Fair enough. Decisive Game 7. What, Art Academy TC? Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, it's just so cool. And a lot of these teams, like we had mentioned, they, like you said, they didn't really know what competitive Splatoon was. I'm sure Low Ink, October 2022, we had a record-setting teams who applied, and I think you even told me that a lot of those
Oh.
teams that made it up were members of the collegiate scene, right?
Yeah, yeah, not just Ludi. You have a lot of college teams bleeding over. Again, the Night Sharks being one of the better teams in all of Low Ink that's been playing in that recently. I can't think of all of the teams off the top of my head that have been playing it, but yeah, there's been a ton of college representation in the low level scene, and again, that's good to see. It shows that they're not just playing in CCA; they love it so much they want to see what else is out there. Which there is a ton of cool stuff out there, so that's it's good to see as well.
It is indeed. I don't know if we're waiting on a player swap at the moment before we get started with this game 8, I believe, or what the move is. But as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know too. I believe CCA is going to be happening again at the new semester, at the next semester, start of next year too. So if you're like, hey, I'm a college student and I like Splatoon, definitely tune in. Join the Discord. You guys can see the Discord there on screen. Follow them on Twitter as well. Use your phones. You can scan the QR code too. I like how they put that on the stream. That's awesome. So definitely do that and get your team assembled. Even if you don't have a team, I'm sure there's resources that you can use to find some players, maybe through this server or through your school's esports community. I don't know. When we were in school, we didn't really have esports, so I guess I don't really know where you would get it, where you would go for the resources.
Man, I can't even understand how people play competitive sports while in college. Actual ball sports or esports or anything. I felt like I was too busy doing. I had two jobs. I had to go to school. I had a girlfriend who became my wife. That was time consuming. So I hats off to these young adults that are playing in these games and but yeah, that was esports definitely. What's crazy is this isn't that long ago. It's not like we're old men over here talking about time long past. College was a decade ago for me. It's things in the esports scene as a general has just changed so much as of late, and it's going to change even more at the rate it's going. And that's what makes the Splatoon so exciting. You want to see where it's going to be going into the future here.
Yeah, especially with more schools having scholarships and whatnot. It's always good to see. I know my school, my alma mater, Miami University. I wish they had a team here that was playing, but they do have a pretty good esports program. Okay, here's the comps I was hoping for. Yep,
There it is.
this is what we came to watch. This is game 9 quality of grands, right?
I think both teams finally got the memo. Oh, the game's over. We can't do anything. Try as we might, we can't pretty it up. So here we go. Quad support versus quad slayer. And you know what? The point sensor is going to do a good job of locating all these players. So if there's any ninja squid on the side of Boilermakers, might as well just chalk that up to an L at this point.
Yeah, these are the funny scrim moments that you'll do, and I like no matter what happens, you just don't even take it seriously too. But unless you're Boilermaker Special and you want to get that thirsty win, but it's funny. I barely have played either of these weapons. I practiced with the Nova once, I think, and the Stamper I've only played in Salmon, and I cried because I hated it. So I'm happy to see that these players are enjoying it.
That's how a lot of people get experience with weapons. That's what's cool about Salmon Run is it forces you to use some weapons you might be out of your comfort zone, but it might also scare some people off because it's like, oh, this weapon really sucks in Salmon Run. It must suck in the actual game itself. It's like, no, that's not the case. It quite opposite. Like Dynamo is amazing in Salmon Run and is flat out broken in some of those night stages, but it doesn't mean it's as strong as in the actual game. As you can, I wonder when we're going to see Nova go. I doubt Nova's going to actually be a good weapon in Salmon Run 2. It's just not strong enough. You know what? Okay, so I think the reason people in the competitive scene aren't a big fan of Nova right now is because they want it to be a splatter shot pro.
Right,
Like
right.
they're aiming at it like it's got the accuracy of the splatter shot pro, and they're like, why am I not getting the splat? Why is it taking four? Was it 5 hits to kill?
5 hits, yeah, it's 5.
5 hits with that thing. My goodness. So I think it's just pro players that are used to this weapon or weapon looking like this doing something that it just doesn't. I think that's the main issue with it right now.
Yeah, and yeah, I could see that happen, and you're right. People need to just realize and use it what it is as a support weapon to just get that chip damage. But yeah, it's got a fast fire rate, it's got decent range, but it's I don't know how the ink consumption is compared to a pro. Pro's pretty ink hungry, but yeah, I mean, we might see it, we might not. I know some people who are happy about it. Some people like it, and like we said, others are just kind of disappointed with their expectations and whatnot. But yeah, man, I don't know. I should give it another shot, I guess.
Well, we need more kits for these things. And that's what's exciting is, we're going to get more kits for slowly at a long time. But I mean, you just think about all the weapons that we have right now that need just a second kit before we get into what weapons are going to get the third kit. And it's like, this is going to take a long time. A lot of updates to come out with this game. A lot new maps to come out with as well. Exciting times. It's just an exciting time to be a part of this community in general.
It is, especially this is the first time we're experiencing a new season. Like, we didn't know what that meant, like I forgot that we had the rainy season, or what was it the first time? I forgot it had a name, but it had a name. And now we're in the chill season, but now that we kind of know how this game is going to work with the new season updates, kind of what is involved with X rank, and what the calcs are like, how it's different than Splatoon 2. It's fun to experiment with things in this game, and I have hope that every new season might have just some kind of patch that will make and enhance the game a little better. So, like you said, it's exciting. We've seen a lot of exciting things too that have happened at the release of Splatoon 3. Like Riptide happened literally the day of. Big House happened a month after, when people kind of got acclimated with the game a little bit and the meta was kind of established too. So just looking forward to all the great future events.
Yeah, Low Tide City coming up. That's the next big one. Hey, actually, tomorrow is the Big Dapple.
Yeah, that's right. I know a few people going. Yeah, one of my teammates will be there. Luna, she's going to be there. I know a lot of people who live in the New York City area will be there as well. So it's such a cool event. But yeah, that's coming up tomorrow. And then there's one in Ohio that's coming up too. Not as big of an event, just kind of a local. So I will certainly be at that one. And
well, that's what we need more. And that's what's cool about these colleges. Like, I know Purdue hosts their own little show matches from time to time, which I guess is just like their version of a local. But that's what we need more of in the scene, is just more, just like, here's 20 people going together. Let's do some pickups and grow this thing. I know Magic out in Philly's been doing a lot pretty much every single Friday with that. But that's something you see with these colleges as well, is more in-person kind of events taking place. They don't have to be majors like Low Tide City or Riptide or Big House or Shine or anything like that. Just getting together and seeing other physical human beings playing the game is kind of a good thing in general. Hey, that's it, isn't it? Are we done here?
We are, yeah. Boilermaker Special getting that last win.
Who won that last one?
Boilermaker.
They did? Okay.
Yeah. So Boilermaker Special winning the grand final set 5-2 in a best of 9. Of course, we played out the other matches to keep the entertainment rolling. That was actually an excuse for Popkin and I just to shoot the breeze for a little bit. No, we're joking. They wanted to play it, and we're happy that they could, and especially giving us that last match with the Damper Novos. Always enjoyable. But yeah, that is going to be it. So we saw Div 2 grand finals last night. We saw a Div 1 finals tonight, just right now. I believe there's going to be a set that happens tomorrow as well at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. I don't know all the details on that right now. So the CCA league, it's not over quite yet, even though we finished Div 1. We still have, some action, some finals that are going to be happening later. So definitely stay tuned for that info, and definitely join the server. So I
Yeah,
believe we have 3 sets tomorrow, is what our lovely streamer is telling us. But
yeah, Div
I'm
3, 4, and 5. Not in that order, but yeah, all of them are tomorrow. Those are all the divs, right? So this is all going to be done by tomorrow, I
yeah.
believe.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing. Hey, this is super cool, and we talked about how CCA has grown so far. Big shout outs I'm sure there's other people I'm missing, but like Mizuno and DRF for kind of headlining this too, and it's just so cool. It's something we didn't have when we were students, Popgun, and I am forever jealous of that because I would have loved to play. But the scene is growing in every aspect, and it's so super cool to see it in the collegiate scene.
It is, and it's exciting to see what's going to take place next semester. If the growth from season 1 to season 2 is any indicator, we're going to have about 300 teams in the next semester. So, hey, and if you want to be one of those teams coming up next time, scan that QR code on stream, join the Discord, follow them on Twitter, get some more information. You could start up the next program at your school, and you could be the ones that take down the Purdue Monsters of West Lafayette. And it looks like Michigan is going to be doing that in football pretty soon in this one as well. Hey, is that it? Are we signing off?
I think we
Is that
are.
is,
I
is
want
that a
to.
night?
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to all these stats that we were kind of reading before. Were compiled by some wonderful people. So Kraken Mayor, DRF, and I believe Brian from UCSD have been lovely and able to provide us with that information. So super cool. We always love it. Makes our job easier, way easier when you can see
Oh yeah.
the stats and like set the stage for you guys. So we always enjoy doing that. So special shout outs to them, and special shout out to Vapor for uh, streaming tonight's matches and hosting the lobbies and all that. But yeah, guess we are signing off. So Popgun, what's the latest for you?
You can find me running the American bracket of the Splat World Championship qualifier on the IPL channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Before that, at 6 p.m. Central European Time, I believe that's what CET stands for, the European bracket of the Splat World Championship qualifier is going to be playing. That also is going to be on IPL. You are going to see the best of the best in the West play in that one. Not just the teams you saw play on the Nintendo tournament today, but all the strong teams in Europe are signed up for it as well. It's going to be awesome. Check that out on the IPL channel tomorrow.
Yes.
Falco, where can they find you?
Yeah, find me Falco Flyer on Twitch. I stream Splatoon. Streaming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. So if you're an early bird like me, definitely grab your cup of coffee. We'll play some X Rank. We'll try not to get 1700 like I happened to do this morning. And you can find me on Twitter, FalcoFire11. I am gearing up to set up a broadcast for some Ludi sets that I'm going to be streaming, hopefully starting next week once Ludi gets rolling around. So follow the Splatoon Tourney Twitch channel for all that information. But that is going to be it for us tonight. So thank you guys all. We hope you have a wonderful day, and make sure to tune in tomorrow for Divs 3, 4, and 5 championships. You don't want to miss it, and have a fantastic night.